welcome to another video. First, I just wanted to thank all of you who commented on my Facebook. For those of you who knew that I wasn't feeling so well, I'm still not 100%. I don't know how this happened, but for those of you who don't know, I was having major neck, arm, and kind of shoulder pain to the point where I couldn't even tie my hair. I was walking like this. It was awful. And I did all these things. I was rubbing natural oils, taking painkillers, what else? Doing all these exercises, trying to work my muscles. I put a hat, I was putting hot towels on my back just in case. I was thinking maybe my muscles are contracted and and I don't know, and they just need to relax. So I was putting really warm towels on my back. I don't know what I did. I did so much stuff. I was drinking tea. Someone on Facebook recommended for me to drink tea, lavender tea, and I was oh my gosh, I don't have lavender tea. So then I was will chamomile tea work because it's relaxing? So I was drinking tons of tea to relax my body. It was just awful. I couldn't sleep right. There was not a position where I felt comfortable. And today I do feel better. It still hurts. This morning I was taking a shower and it's still painful, but at least I'm functional again. I'm just being careful, but I'm still, getting around and doing my regular stuff. Thank you so much for all of you who sent positive thoughts on my Facebook and all your input. It really helps. I was so desperate. Any little thing you could suggest was really, really helpful for me because I tried every single thing. So today's video is part of the Clean Up Your Diet series that I was talking about. All of you seem really excited for these videos, and going to be honest, I really didn't plan too much for this video, but I pretty much just went based on some of your questions and really just on basic knowledge. I feel like this is a good subject to start off with, and I want to make this very casual. Pretty much I have my coffee with me. I'm going to be drinking my coffee. I want to make this video very casual, just like you guys are with me in the same room. We're just talking about cleaning up our diet, and I don't want to make it, if you YouTube and search on YouTube for diet videos, and you're going to find a lot of scientific based videos that are really serious. So I don't want to make videos like that. I want to make it very casual. You guys are my friends and we're just talking about nutrition. All my friends usually come up to me and they'll ask me questions. So I want to keep it on that basis. The main question is sugar bad for you? And honestly, the way I look at this is there's two types of sugar, and it's the regular sugar in your food and the added sugar that is added to processed foods during processing, in the processing facilities and when they're being made. Regular sugar is the one that you find naturally in food. So fruit has sugar, which is fructose, and I don't think that's bad for you. Now, if you do have diabetes, you're still going to have to account for that sugar because your body is still going to look at it as sugar. But if you don't have diabetes, I don't think fructose is bad for you. I don't think naturally occurring sugar in foods are bad. We need energy as long as we're not overdoing anything. So of course you're not going to go all day just eating fruit, for example. But I think the main killer is added sugars, and that's why our society is becoming so large. We all know that obesity is such a big deal because our processed foods have so much added sugar. And I think that's the huge issue, because even fruit bars, you think they already have sugar because fruit has sugar, naturally occurring sugar. But companies are adding extra sugar because they want to make the fruit bar taste better. And we're just getting so used to, our taste buds are getting so used to all this very high sugar flavor. And we're definitely eating a lot more sugar than we're supposed to. Sugar eventually turns into fat. Sugar is calories. Sugar is a carb, and when you accumulate excess calories, so if you're taking in more than you're wasting, you're going to gain weight, and sugar will turn into fat. The other issue is diabetes. Diabetes has been increasing so much. It's like year by year, statistics just go up. Our body pretty much doesn't know how to handle all the sugar we give it anymore. So, then it gets to a point where your liver and your insulin, they're like, whatever, eat all the sugar you want. I'm sleeping, I'm tired, I'm not going to do anything with it. And sugar just accumulates in your blood. That's diabetes, and then all these terrible things that come with diabetes if it's not well managed. So to sum up, I think naturally occurring sugars are not an issue, but the big issue is whenever we're adding sugar to foods. I've had someone ask me here on YouTube about coffee. We all drink coffee, like I'm drinking my own coffee, and we need to sweeten our coffee. We're gonna add sugar. Sugar, we're adding into it. Coffee doesn't have sugar naturally. So with me today, I actually have examples of things you can use to sweeten your coffee that are like lower in sugar and have like a lower glycemic index. For instance, I don't use sugar in my coffee. I use Truvia. And Truvia, out of all the artificial sweeteners, is the most natural one. Because you have Splenda, Sweet and Low, what's the other one? But Truvia is natural. It comes from the plant stevia, so it's sugar-free and it's a lot sweeter than sugar actually. I don't even add the whole package to my coffee because it's so sweet. I only add about half. So this is what I would recommend in terms of coffee. I also drink creamer. Is it the healthiest thing for you? No, but I don't like black coffee, so I'll just add a tiny little creamer, and sometimes I won't even add this if I feel like it's sweet enough, but there's other days that I'm just like, oh, I still need some, something like sweet, so I'll just add a little bit of Truvia, which comes from the stevia plant. As far as like your smoothies, and I've heard people adding this to their coffee too, there's agave, and honestly, I'm not a fan of the taste as much as like honey, but I feel like it works for certain things. So for like your smoothies, if you feel like you need to add some of this, I don't really add it to my smoothies because I feel like the fruit, again, already has so much natural sugar, and to me, it's sweet enough. But I bought this just, for recipes. Whenever you can use this instead of sugar, it does have a lower glycemic index. Just keep in mind though, just because it's organic and it's agave, it's still sugar. It's still something that you're adding to your food, and the least you add, the best. We have healthier versions of added sugars, but at the end of the day, they're still sugars, they're still calories, and the more you take in, it will turn into fat, and it's just not healthy. So just keep that in mind. There's like no miracle product that is so good for you. So this would be the other example. Then I have honey, which I love honey. The reason with honey is that it's not healthier than sugar, so it's not really healthier than adding sugars, like regular table sugar. It does have the properties of honey, so in that sense, it might be healthier, but in terms of like calories, it has just about the same calories. The thing is that it's sweeter than sugar, so you need a lot less. It's a lot more concentrated and sweeter, so you're going to need to add a lot less honey to whatever you're adding. So in that sense, you're going to get less calories than adding table sugar. But these would be the three options. I love honey. I actually love honey more than I do agave, and this is what I put in my coffee. To me, it's, even when you're comparing it to the chemical sweeteners like Splenda and all that, it tastes a lot more like sugar. I feel like Splenda and Sweet and Low, they alter the taste of your coffee. Where this, unless I'm just so used to it, but I feel like it's pretty similar to sugar. And it looks like sugar. When you open it, it has like the granules and they're white, so very similar to sugar. the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is the difference between sugar-free and no added sugars. Again, no added sugars, when it's on the label, or sometimes they say without added sugars, it just means that the facility where the product was processed, they did not add any extra sugar to the product. So when you look at the label and you look under sugars, those grams are just from naturally occurring sugars in the food. Now, sugar-free means that by FDA, there has to be less than 0.5 grams of sugar per serving, and that's what it means. So even if they did have a little bit of sugar, they could still call it sugar-free if it's less than 0.5 grams per serving. The other thing you want to be careful with sugar-free foods is that sometimes what they do is they add sugar alcohols to the food. And sugar alcohols, what they do, the reason why they're so sweet and they're calorie-free is because our body cannot absorb them. So they're not absorbed in our intestines, so they just lay around. The only issue is that, and I don't know if you've heard of this, I typically hear this a lot with diabetics because they go into like CVS, into the diabetic section, and they'll buy all this Reese's and candy that is sugar-free, thinking it's fine. They also forget that even though it's sugar-free, it still has carbs, still has fat, but nonetheless, what it does is it has sugar alcohols, and because our body does not absorb sugar alcohols, it just sits in our intestines and it can cause diarrhea. So you just want to be careful with that. Then the other thing we have to be careful is that in today's society, we look at Starbucks and we have so many sugary drinks that you don't realize you're taking in so much calories and so much sugar because it's a drink. And it just goes in, you sip it in, it just tastes like you're drinking milk or tea or water, and it really doesn't feel you much because it's a drink, but it could have just as much sugar as a piece of pie. And that's where you really have to be careful. So I'm not saying don't have Starbucks ever again. I'm not even talking about the regular coffee. I'm talking about the frappuccinos and all those like yummy drinks. Not saying not to have them, but once in a while, just have it sometimes, not all the time. And Starbucks is really cool because you can tell them to add low-fat milk instead of regular milk. You can tell them to add soy milk, almond milk. You can even tell them to skip the cream or skip the sugar. So just keep that in mind. So in your day-to-day life, what can you do to get that sweetness and avoid added sugars? Go for dark chocolate. Dark chocolate has the more percentage of cocoa, the less sugar it has. So if you look at like the 90% dark chocolate, it has like 3 grams of sugar, so it's nothing. So, and it's still kind of sweet. Now at first it's gonna feel really weird because your taste buds are so used to that sweetness that it's gonna taste slightly bitter. But if you just start getting your taste buds used to it, it's fine. I love it. So the other thing is, again, eating fruit that's naturally sweet. For your drinks, add like fruit to your water. Add strawberries, lemon, that will make your water taste a little bit fruity, and it gives it that flavor without adding sugars. So when you're baking at home, there's so many ways that you can cut back sugar. For example, applesauce works like wonders. When you add applesauce, you can cut sugar in half. And it's still sweet, it's still moist, and it's amazing. And you can add honey, agave, all these things instead of adding sugar. So there's really ways to get around to added sugars. The least processed your diet is, the least amount of sugars it's gonna have, or at least the least amount of added sugars. And you're really going to feel healthier. Your sugar is not going to turn into fat. You're going to stop gaining weight. You're not going to have diabetes, and you're going to feel so much better. Okay guys, so I really hope you enjoyed this, short series. Let me know, leave me requests in the comment section below. Let me know if you like this kind of setting, you know, just conversational, relaxing. Let me know how you felt about this video, if you learned something, if you have further questions. Just keep, you know, everything in mind and let me know. Subscribe if you haven't already, share it with your friends. I really appreciate it, and I love you all. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.